Team, what's up? This is Dr. Jeff Moore, currently serving as the CEO of ICE. As you've probably heard on some of the prior episodes, we are now sponsored by Jane app, and there's a good reason for that. We've been using Jane over at Onward now for quite some time, and a ton of people in the ICE tribe have been using Jane as well. And one thing is unanimous, this product is unbelievable. Not only the actual product itself, the software, the user experience, but the customer service, the friendly, supportive, and prompt customer service is simply unparalleled. In a world of EMR where things can get a bit heavy, a bit clunky, and honestly a bit frustrating, Jane has brought to market such a fresh, fun software that we want to do everything we can to bring more and more people's attention to what it is they have to offer in this space. If you want to jump over, they make the transfer process very simple. You can go over to jane.app/physicaltherapy and check it out. And if you want to jump in, use our promo code. It's ICEPT1MO. That'll get you a 1-month grace period, so you can actually test drive this thing. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy this PT on Ice Daily Show.
Fantastic. Cool. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Instagram. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. One of the best days of the week, Fitness Athlete Friday. I am here with you. My name is Guillermo Contreras. I'm a physical therapist in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, teaching assistant in the Fitness Athlete Division of the Institute of Clinical Excellence. So excited to be here on a Friday. Typically, I've been on Mondays for the last, probably a couple of years. So fun to be here on a Friday with you all and be able to discuss some fun fitness athlete stuff. Today's topic is the art of scaling in the gym and in fitness as a whole. But before we dive into that, let's go over what we have coming up in the calendar for ICE, specifically in the fitness athlete realm. Online, we have Essential Foundations of Clinical Management of the Fitness Athlete. We're actually finishing up a cohort currently. Next week is our final week. And the next cohort is going to begin on March 7th. So if you've been looking to jump into Fitness Athlete Foundations, Essential Foundations, we have a course coming up March 7th. So what is that, like, I don't even know, 5 weeks away, right? So it's going to come faster than you expect. Those courses do sell out. We have an increased roster size a little bit, but still it's one of the most popular courses we have at ICE. So it tends to sell out. So make sure if it's something you've been putting on the back burner, trying to wait or plan on waiting until the last minute, jump onto the website, get signed up for that one. Advanced Concepts is already sold out. So if you were hoping to take it soon here in February, that is unfortunately not an opportunity you can jump in on. So make sure you get to the website, sign up for the second cohort this year, or the second cohort this year, which will be in August. So our next cohort of Advanced Concepts of the Fitness Athlete is in August of 2022. You can sign up now for that one and just kind of get that done and be ready to go when the day comes. And then lastly, Fitness Athlete Pregnancy and Postpartum has another cohort going on February 28th of 2022. So less than a month out for less than a month out for pregnancy and postpartum, starting up on their second cohort of 2022. Live courses, we got a handful. We only have one left in January because there's only one weekend left in January. But that this weekend, January 29th and 30th at PTC CrossFit in Las Vegas, Nevada. I believe Zach and Kelly are going to be out in Las Vegas, Nevada with all of you there. If you're going to be there, have fun. It's a great weekend. Coming up in February, February 19th, we're at Iron Tribe Fitness in Memphis, Tennessee. That same weekend, also at Anatomy Optimized in Scottsdale, Arizona. And then moving into March, less than 2 months away still, right? We have Westridge CrossFit in Chandler, North Carolina on March 12th and 13th. And then lastly, March 19th and 20th, we're at SST Rehab in Lake Mary, Florida. So right there, we have 5 on the calendar, 1 this coming weekend, but then 4 more in the next 2 months. If you've been looking to do a Fitness Athlete Live or are looking to complete your Fitness Athlete certification, make sure you jump into a live course, Essential Foundations, Advanced, whatever it is you need to finish off that certification. And I want to make sure I give a shout out here. The inaugural, I believe inaugural is the proper pronunciation, of Fitness Athlete Pregnancy and Postpartum Live in Hendersonville, Tennessee at Onward, Tennessee is on February 19th and 20th as well. So that's going to be a busy weekend for ICE. But if you're heading to that inaugural course, we hope you have a great time Christina and Alexis have some great stuff for you also. Excited to get that course going and rolling here in the year 2022. So that's everything from the fitness athlete side of things. Again, hopefully, if you've been looking to jump into one of those courses, you can, and we see you out on the road or online at the very least too. The topic at hand again is the art of scaling. And when we think of scaling, for those who are a little unfamiliar with it, it's basically just taking a workout that is prescribed typically in the CrossFit gym or in any like those functional fitness gyms, F45, boot camp, anything like that. And whatever is prescribed as the weight or the intensity or whatever it may be, we just dial it back for an individual who might not be at that optimal fitness level. That is how we normally think of scaling. It's usually just like, okay, if you can't do the weight, you scale back the weight. If you can't do the muscle up, you're going to scale back to a chest to bar pull up or a pull up. If you can't do a handstand push up, you're going to scale back to a hand release push up. And that is how we typically see scaling. We reduce the weight, we reduce the range of motion if someone is limited for some reason, whether it be for pain or discomfort for a day. We reduce rep scheme or volume, total work being done in that day. And then we reduce kind of the difficulty of the movement. We can also do things like increase the rest period. If someone has an interval workout or an EMOM, instead of having 4 in a row or 4 minutes a row work or a minute, maybe we allow them to do a 45-second work and add 15 seconds of rest between each interval, right? There's different ways we can scale. And that's all things that you're going to learn if you go to a CrossFit gym, if you go to like an F45, you're going to see how people typically scale. Where people really aren't sure about with scaling is why do we scale? When are there opportunities where we can scale for reasons besides just I'm not strong enough or good enough to do these specific movements? And that's where we enter the realm of kind of understanding coaching and understanding athletes and their needs and where they are in life, etc. So big examples we see is first and foremost, probably in our realm, is we typically see scaling due to an injury. Someone has shoulder pain when pressing overhead. Can we scale by doing a single arm press, or do we scale back to a landmine press, right? Can we do dumbbells instead of a barbell because the barbell is painful and we lighten the load on the dumbbell? If a movement or if a day calls for squat cleans, full depth squat, and they have knee pain or hip pain and it just really limits their range of motion, do we scale to a box squat? Do we scale to a power clean or a power snatch? Do we do a hang position power snatch or hang position squat power clean to just limit the motion that their knee and their hip goes through? This is the realm most of us are probably comfortable in, understanding, okay, there's an injury on board. We want to avoid kind of irritating these tissues because it's sensitized with squatting or deep knee bending or deep hip flexion. So let's go ahead and just change the movement to allow them to continue to maintain that stimulus. But many times, and I would say in some of the gyms I've coached at before, scaling is also seen as like a way of cheating, or like it's easy. It's not really hard. Like I shouldn't have to scale. And other times and other reasons we scale, it's just as important for keeping athletes healthy, keeping athletes safe, and keeping our individuals in the gym, inside the walls of the gym, keeping them in a way that allows them to maintain their fitness level, to continue exercising, to continue working out, and continuing to fight chronic disease within their lives. Big reasons that I've grown to know really well over the last couple of years. We have a 2.5-year-old at home. A lot of times poor sleep, right? If you have someone who walks into the gym and they're just like, they just look burnt out, they just look tired, they look worn out, right? And you know for a fact they either have a newborn at home or maybe they have a puppy, right? Anything that keeps them up at night. Maybe they're just really busy at work or they're really stressed out. I'm sure everyone here can understand some sort of stress over the last couple of years. That is a perfectly good reason to scale, right? If your body is just not up to it, if you are fried mentally, fried emotionally, psychologically, right? Can we scale it back in some way? If you're just warming up, and typically I love to think of the warm up as a way to understand what my body is prepared to do for a workout. Like if I have to go really heavy with some squat cleans and I'm warming up and that 135 or that 155, whatever, feels like 250 or 300 pounds, it just feels really heavy and it's just burying me and feels terrible. For me, that's an indicator that might be a day that I need to scale, right? For my own personal health, for my own longevity, for my own resilience, right? So I can continue to train another day. So I can recover and not risk having another injury or something that could just kind of take me out for several weeks or even make me scale further or to a bigger extent. So again, sleep, poor sleep, right? Not able to get really good sleep quality, bad sleep over several days, right? A new child is in the life, a new puppy is in your life, a lot of stress. All of those are perfectly good reasons to find a way to scale movements. The warm up feeling like trash, right? You're warming up and you're like, you know what? Everything I'm doing just doesn't feel good today. That's another perfectly good reason to say, okay, maybe we need to scale some things for you today. Maybe we need to dial back the range of motion. Maybe we need to dial back the intensity. Maybe we need to dial back the rep scheme or the volume for today. At our gym, we have a lot of people in the age group of bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, getting married, everything like that. And more often than not, some of these athletes whom I love, big fan of them, right? They'll come back and they'll jump right back into it on Monday morning with heavy deadlifts and whatever the workout is, and then go throughout the week. And then by Thursday, they're like, you know what, my back is killing, my shoulder's killing, my knee is killing me. And again, if someone, you know for a fact that you're working with somebody who has this kind of schedule in the summer where they're in their like mid to late 20s, early 30s, and they have like 3 bachelor parties and 4 weddings and all this other stuff going on for a weekend, that is a perfectly good reason to say, hey, I know you have these things going on. I think this week, let's go ahead and dial you back. Instead of going at 80% of your 1 rep max, let's take 80% of your 1 rep max and then go based off of that 80%. Right. So really little things like that you can learn over time how to program, how to give people a nice variance in what they do in a way where maybe they can do a little bit more. Another fantastic way to kind of scale for individuals is to give them something like the RPE. We tend to see percentages in CrossFit in most fitness realms, right? Where you're going to do 71% or 75% or 80% of your 1 rep max or 70% of your 55 rep max, right? Numbers like that where they're, okay, I know this number is what I do here. I'm going to base everything I do today off of this. And that's what I'm going to go for. But what if we know that someone is struggling, tired, fatigued, had a weekend bender, anything like that? Maybe we say, hey, for the next couple days, I want you to do everything based off RPE. I want you to work at something around a 5 or 6. What feels like a 6 out of 10 difficulty today? That's what I want you to work at. Or if you understand reps in reserve, we can also go with that. I want you to work at a weight where when you're done, you feel like you could do maybe 3 or 4 more reps, but just stop right there, right? That's the weight I want you to work at. Having these different things in our tool belt, different ways to prescribe intensity and load is fantastic for scaling for any individual, especially when we're working with a population like the CrossFit athlete who is very, very eager to work hard, to get after it, and to get sweaty. And especially when you're working with athletes who maybe are not like CrossFit Games level athletes, but they've been doing it for a while. They've been doing it 2, 3, 4 years. They can do muscle ups, they can do chest to bar pull ups, right? They have the ability to do all these things. And sometimes they need someone to say, like, hey, I know that you can, but maybe today we just don't, right? Like you're not feeling it. If they have a whoop and like, you know what, it's been red for 5 days straight, say like either 1, you're getting sick, or 2, your body's giving you a sign that you just gotta pull it back a little bit. Let's dial it back a little and let's go ahead and switch it up. The one last thing I want to mention about scaling is too often individuals really try to tell themselves that if I scale, like it's either cheating or it's not hard or it's not difficult or it's not the same. And while it may not be the same as what's written on the board, in CrossFit, the most important thing, sorry, in my mind at the very least, right, is the stimulus. What is the goal of the stimulus trying to be achieved? If a workout is calling for someone to just get their heart rate up, to really get after it, to work hard, and to finish the prescribed work in a 4 to 6 minute window, and they're so gung ho on saying, like, I need to RX this because I can RX it. Doesn't matter how bad I feel or how heavy the weight feels. And they hit a 7 or 9 minute time for something that ideally will be done in 4 to 6 minutes to achieve that proper stimulus. They missed out on the stimulus. They missed out on the goal of that workout, and they're kind of harming their own fitness level improvement. So keep that in mind as well, right? The stimulus is such an important part in CrossFit that so many people just kind of overlook, especially when they've been doing it for long enough where they feel like I need to RX because RX is life, right? Quote, hashtag, right? RX is life. And sometimes you can still get a really, really great stimulus from a scaled workout, especially like let's say you have a weekend competition where your body is fried. Maybe you're scaling some things back so you can still achieve a really great stimulus, but you're maybe not using the weights you're used to, or you're not doing the difficulty of the movements you're used to. So a lot of food for thought there. Hopefully some of that helps you all in thinking about when you're working with fitness athletes, what other reasons are there to scale? How can I scale? What are my different options? What can I do with these athletes? And how can I help them stay in the gym, stay active, stay fit, and continue to build upon their fitness level to help them stay long live. Well, that came out really weird. To help them to live long, healthy lives. Cool. Thank you so much for joining me. Fitness Athlete Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, gang. We will catch you next Monday on the PT on Ice Daily Show. Take care, everyone.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.